Hey, Richard Bryce here, Tennis Hacker. In this video, I'm going to show you the simplest way for most older tennis players to improve their game. It might not be the most exciting tennis lesson you've ever watched, but I promise if you implement what I'm talking about, it's probably going to be one of the most useful, because where this is coming from is I see a lot of tennis players play. I receive a lot of video footage from players that are struggling with different aspects of their game and they want to know how to improve things, and there is a certain underlying problem that's preventing them from improving. So that's what I'm going to be showing you how to address today. Hopefully you find the video helpful. If you do, it'd be awesome if you give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel before, much appreciated if you could do that as well. So what we're going to be working on today is improving your movement, because the best tennis players are the best movers. It's as simple as that. Tennis is a movement-based sport. You have to get to the ball before you can hit it. And when you watch most older tennis players play, they don't move very effectively. They aren't able to run efficiently or safely a lot of the time. They're not able to run and move backwards effectively. They're not able to move sideways very well, and they're not able to rotate, which is why when they then try and use tennis footwork and modern tennis biomechanics, it simply doesn't work because they don't have the foundational movements in place. So that's what we're going to be working on, and I'm going to be showing you a few different progressions. But before I do, I want to let you know about a free live workshop that I've got coming up, where I'm going to be teaching you how you can use brain-based training to improve your vision, to improve your balance, to improve your coordination, to make you a more skillful tennis player. So I'll place a link to that down in the description so that you can check that out if you're interested. The first thing we're going to work on is basic running, but done with decent technique. So there's a couple of things that I want you to concentrate on. The first one is having a neutral pelvis. So most players, when they run, they let their back arch too much and they don't use optimal muscles in order to help them run. So I want you to think about trying to keep a neutral pelvis, so trying to keep your pelvis a little bit more flat, which might mean that you have to kind of tense your abs and hold your core in place a little bit. And the other thing that I want you to think about is just staying on the balls of your feet. So you're not going to be hitting the ground with your heels, you're going to be staying on the balls of the feet, which means you'll be pulling your knees up in front of you a little bit. And then you'll also see what's going on with my arms. I've got my arms bent to about 90 degrees, and I'll just be swinging them with a little bit of a pendulum. And that's all you're going to do. Not too fast. Are you able to do it safely and efficiently? That's what we're going to go for first. So just trying to maintain those coaching points that I've just explained. I'm staying on the balls of my feet. I'm trying to hold a neutral pelvis, and I'm just trying to be efficient with my posture. I'm just going to go again. Obviously I could speed it up if I wanted to, but you need to make sure that you're safe going at this speed. And if you're not able to do this safely, if you find that you can't run on the balls of your feet without your heels hitting the ground, then I highly advise you work on this. You might need to do a little bit of strength work on your calves and on your legs and maybe on your core in order to be able to run safely. Because if you can't run safely, playing tennis is a massive injury risk, and there's definitely going to be issues in terms of performance. So that's the first thing you want to work on. The second one is going to be running backwards. So same coaching points are going to apply. Neutral pelvis, balls of the feet. Are you able to move backwards? And obviously just make sure you're nice and safe when you do this. If you know that you don't have very good balance, then that's one of the things that we're talking about here. So can you run backwards, staying on the balls of your feet, and can you do that safely? So there are our first two basic movements. From there, we're going to go to sideways movements, and we're going to do a couple of different options. The first one is just going to be side steps. Again, thinking about maintaining that neutral pelvis, I'm going to stay on the balls of my feet, and I'm just going to sidestep from side to side. Okay, so you can see how it looks. I'm lowering my center of gravity. If you don't have the strength in your feet and ankles to do this, you don't have the strength in your legs to be able to do this, you need to practice and you need to work on it until you can do it. Okay, so there we've got lateral movement. I'm now going to go for crossovers. So for crossovers, we're going to do them in a few different ways. So I'm going to start by crossing my foot in front of me. So I'm going to go both directions, crossing my foot in front of me. So my right leg is coming in front when I go this way, and my left foot is coming in front when I go the other way. And then going to do the opposite. So now I'm going to cross behind. because we'll need both of these variations. And again, can you do this fluidly? Can you do it smoothly? And I could think about being lower to the ground, but this whole time I'm staying on the balls of my feet. And then am I able to alternate it? Can I do one in front, one in behind? Again, staying on the balls of my feet. So they're going to be our basic movement patterns. We're now going to go for a couple of slightly more tennis specific movement variations, but I still class them as kind of basic movement patterns. The first one we're going to be doing is moving forwards as if we're preparing for our forehand. So we're going to do what we've just done. I'm going to be crossing over with my leg in front of me. So can I move forwards in this position? Can I move backwards in this position? Then I'm going to reverse it. Can I move with my right leg behind me? And then can I move in front with my right leg behind me? So again, we're just doing basic movement patterns, because if you can't do this without the ball, you won't be likely to be able to do it with the ball. And it might feel weird, it might feel off balance. It's just a case of building up and getting more comfortable and more fluid. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the backhand. So whether I've got a one-hander, two-hander, slice, doesn't matter, choose whatever you prefer, and it's going to be the same thing. We're just working on basic movement fluidity. If you can't do these things, you definitely want to work on them. I'm going to change round. So now my left leg is coming behind me, and I'm trying to stay in my unit turn position so that then if I see the ball, I'm able to hit it. Okay? We're then going to go for that same thing in side steps. So now, forehand preparation, my legs aren't crossing over, I'm just doing side steps. And in terms of a progression, I probably should have done this before the one that I've just done, but never mind. Same thing on the backhand, I'll choose a two-hander this time. Side steps. For all of this, I'm staying on the balls of my feet, like so. So now we've done forwards and backwards movement as if we're preparing for our shot. Now we're going to think about moving laterally. So I'm going to think about setting up in a forehand position, and I go for the shuffle on this one. Can I shuffle in this direction? Notice my head is down there, looking at where the ball is coming from. Can I do that same thing on the backhand side? I'm holding my unit turn position. And then can I do that in crossover format? So am I able to kind of walk and run while I'm holding this unit turn position? And then the same thing on the backhand. I'll go for slice this time. Okay, so a variety of different basic footwork patterns that you can practice and work on. Obviously, I'm never going to run the full length of the court backwards like this, holding a slice backhand position. This is a movement training exercise. This stuff should be very simple for you to do. If it isn't, it suggests that there's major movement limitations, and it's a really good idea to spend time working on this, because you don't need to be on court. You can do it at home. You don't need a practice partner. You can do it anytime you want to become a more efficient mover, because the more efficient your movement is, the better you'll become at tennis. So that's why I said this is the simplest way for older tennis players to improve. There's thousands of videos out there breaking down professional technique, and it's a nice idea that if we just keep practicing, we'll get there. But it's really important to understand that you can only play at the level your body will allow you to play. If you want to play higher level tennis, you have to see and you have to move like a higher level tennis player. Here we're working on basic movement patterns, but there might be other things that you need to do, and they're things that I'm going to be helping you with in this free live workshop that I've got coming up. I'm also going to teach you how to train and improve your vision and your balance, which are equally as essential in terms of your tennis. So if you're interested in joining me on this free workshop, click the link in the description. It'll take you over to a different page where you can learn more about it and register. Okay, hopefully you found this video helpful. Any questions about implementing what I've talked about here, leave me a comment down below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time.